ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਿੱਘੀ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਦਰਸ਼ਕ ਤੇ ਸਰੋਤੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਟੀਵੀ ਸਾਡਾ ਰੇਡੀਓ USA ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਆ, ਬੜੇ ਚਿਰਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਖੁਆਇਸ਼ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਬੋਰਨ ਬੱਚੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਆ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਭਾਰਤ ਤੋਂ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਤੋਂ ਜੰਮੇ ਹੋਏ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਜਾਣ ਕੇ ਸੈੱਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਅਤੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਸੋਚ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਸੋਚ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਫਰਕ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਯੰਗਮੈਨ ਰਮਨ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ। ਵੈਲਕਮ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ।
ਥੈਂਕਸ ਫॉर ਹੈਵਿੰਗ ਮੀ। ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਕੁ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ? ਮੈਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਤੋਂ ਕਰਦੇ
ਪੰਜਾਬੀ I can understand Punjabi fully, 100%, but I can speak it probably 5%. Very little, like hi, hello.
But I would like you speak Punjabi mostly in this interview. Is it okay?
I'll try. मैं कोशिश करूँगा.
Okay.
But it's probably not. It's because it's so difficult because I know so little. But I'll try.
ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਸਾਰੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 'ਚ ਹੋਣਗੇ। No problem?
Yeah, but I'll answer you in English.
Yes.
That's okay. Okay, fine.
ਬਟ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਬੋਲੋ, ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੀ ਬੋਲ ਲਿਓ।
But see, so I know so little Punjabi to speak it. It's very difficult.
Oh.
So I'll have to give most of my answers in like 90% English.
Okay, no problem. No
Yeah,
problem.
that's how
So,
little I know.
ਮੇਰਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਤੋਂ ਬੋਰਨ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਬੋਰਨ ਹੋਏ ਆ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ ਕੀ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ? ਵਾਟ ਯੂ ਫੀਲ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਬਿਟਵੀਨ ਯੂ ਐਂਡ ਯੂਅਰ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ?
Well, there's a lot of differences. Number one, my dad grew up in a village. He didn't have electricity growing up. He had a candlelight, and he didn't get electricity until he was in high school. And I grew up, playing PlayStation, and I had computers, and I had everything. So he almost had a third world life. And I had a very much a first world, very spoiled life. I had everything at my disposal. So I think that is the source of most of the differences between us. Not only just the technological differences, but like there's so many cultural differences as well.
ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਮੋਸਟਲੀ ਕੀ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਆ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਆ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਦੇ ਬੋਰਨ ਆ, ਜਦੋਂ 18 ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਉੱਪਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, ਇੱਥੋਂ ਦੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਆ, ਅਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਕਲਚਰ ਆ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਮਾਂ ਪਿਓ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਤੂੰ 18 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਤੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਣਾ ਘਰ ਅਲੱਗ ਕਰ, ਆਪਣੀ ਲਾਈਫ ਨੂੰ ਅਲੱਗ ਕਰ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹੋ, ਉਹ ਸਹੀ ਆ? ਜਾਂ ਜੋ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੋਕ ਮੇਰੀ ਉਮਰ ਦੇ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਬੱਚੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੋਣ ਅਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਗੁੱਡ ਫੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਪਰ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਦਾ ਕਲਚਰ ਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਬੱਚੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਾ ਹੋਣ ਅਤੇ ਤਾਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਗੁੱਡ ਫੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ। ਪਿੱਛੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਰੀਜ਼ਨ ਕੀ ਆ ਪਿੱਛੇ? ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਆ।
So those differences, they mainly come from the fact that America is a mostly individualistic culture, where they prize individuality. Where Asian cultures, whether it be Vietnamese, Filipino, Cambodian, Indian culture, they're more of a collectivistic culture. So families stick together, everyone sort of pools their money together, and to maintain a household, in-laws live together. American culture, it developed from more of like a Scandinavian Dutch. And although even though those cultures were collectivistic before 100, 200 years back, they slowly over time grew to be more individualistic. And America values independence from day one. And so a lot of those differences stem from that. And growing up, there's a lot of culture shock that comes from that difference.
ਔਰ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਲਚਰ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਕਲਚਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਤੇ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਜਾਂ ਵੈਸਟਰਨ ਕਲਚਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਲੱਗ ਆ ਕਿ ਬੱਚਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਜਵਾਨ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ, ਯੰਗ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ, ਉਹਦਾ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਹੋਣਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆ, ਗਰਲ ਫਰੈਂਡ ਜਾਂ ਬॉय ਫਰੈਂਡ। ਵੈਸਟਰਨ ਕਲਚਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਚੰਗਾ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਨਾ ਜਾਂ ਬੈਡ, ਸਾਡੇ ਬੈਡ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਆ, ਵੈਸਟਰਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਚੰਗਾ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਆ। Is it true or no?
No, actually, not 100%. Depend karda which family you're from. Like for example, my older sister's fiance is from a white military family, and they've been in the army for generations, and they're very conservative. So you don't dating is something that. And I don't know if this is for a fact, but I know that this is true for many very religious and conservative Western families as well. You're celibate and you don't really get involved intimately until after marriage. So I think this notion of Americans or Western people tend to be sort of really promiscuous and they date at a young age, it's actually pretty false. Because a lot of 80% of America is white. And even in Washington State, we have 7.8 million people in Washington State, and 80% of them are white. The dominant religion is Christianity. And even in Christianity, you're intimate until like after marriage for the more conservative Christians. Obviously, people date in high school. I think the notion that if the Americans are really, really promiscuous, I think that's it's largely false. Okay. But it does exist. It does exist, and it does influence the kids. I think the problem in America is pop culture. Is you have hip hop culture, rap culture. Because America, there is no American culture anymore. It doesn't exist. And you have to ask yourself, what is culture? Culture is what you eat, the music you listen to, your language, and the way you dress. Those are the four sort of pillars of culture. Now, in America, when you're in a public school as a kid, you really don't have, like for me, I didn't have really a culture. I have a culture at home, but it wasn't really instilled in me at home because everybody's so busy. My mom was busy working. My dad wasn't there all the time. So we go to school, and in school, it's largely based on what music you listen to. If you listen to hip hop, you have your earrings, you cut your hair a certain way, you speak a certain way, you listen to a certain type of music. That's culture. Even the rock and roll kids, they listen to rock and they talk a different way. Hey bro, hey man, different kind of way. They dress a different kind of way. So that's their culture. And I think growing up, that played a key role in influencing how I grew up, because we spend most of our time at school and with our friends.
Okay, I have one more question about Punjabi language.
Okay, I'll try to answer in Punjabi.
The Punjabi, because ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਰੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਆ ਹਨਾ?
ਨਹੀਂ,
ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਮਤਲਬ?
Yeah, but my mom's ਮੇਰਾ ਮੰਮੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ
ਪੰਜਾਬੀ
actually mostly English ਬੋਲਦੇ।
ਮੋਸਟਲੀ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਆ। ਪਰ ਵਾਟ ਯੂ ਫੀਲ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ, ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕਿਡਸ ਹੋਣਗੇ, ਬੱਚੇ ਹੋਣਗੇ, ਅਗਲੀ ਜਨਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਬੋਲੇਗੀ। ਸੋ ਮੇਰਾ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਰਿਲੇਟਡ ਆ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਕਿ ਸਾਡਾ ਕਲਚਰ, ਸਾਡਾ ਲਿਟਰੇਚਰ, ਸਾਡੀ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਗੁਰਮੁਖੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਲਿਖੀ ਹੋਈ ਆ। ਅਗਰ ਅਗਲੀਆਂ ਨੈਕਸਟ 2 or 3 ਜਨਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਜਾਂ ਸਮਝਦੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਫੀਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਪਾਰਟ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਏਗੀ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਦਾ? ਇਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਰੋਂਗ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਰਾਈਟ ਆ? ਵੀ ਅਗਰ ਮੰਨ ਲਓ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਨੂੰ ਭੁੱਲ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਸਟੈਬਲਿਸ਼ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਆ ਕੌਮਾਂ, ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ, ਉਹ ਆਪਣੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਛੱਡਦੀਆਂ, ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਛੱਡ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਭਾਵੇਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਆ, ਇੱਕ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ, ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਪਰ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਲੌਂਗ ਟਰਮ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਕੀ ਇਹ ਗੁੱਡ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਬੈਡ ਆ?
I think it's good and bad, actually. And I'll tell you why. Punjabis in Punjab are not going to stop being born. But right now, Punjabis are being born in Punjab. I think Punjab is it's the largest diaspora. There's more Punjabis in other countries than any other race, than any other country. We are the largest diaspora. And Punjabis aren't going to stop being born. Punjabis are being born in Punjab right now. They're speaking Punjabi. Yes. Punjab's not going to... Our people are so connected. We're so strong. Gurmukhi will never go away. I don't think it will ever go away. Just because of, look at how passionate we are about spreading our language. We have clubs everywhere, Vancouver, Seattle, all down the West Coast, East Coast, in Central America. The Lakari Sava, they push the language and keep it alive. The people are such a passionate people. We love ourselves. And we love our culture. Even I still have, I don't speak Punjabi all that well, but I watch Punjabi movies. I'll listen to music. The culture still has an impact, and I would feel probably lost if I didn't have it. It's kind of still a pillar in my life. So I don't think it will ever go away. Punjabi's not going to go away. That's just how it is. But you feel lost in America. It will go away for my family. Like, let's say I get married to, let's say, for example, someone Cambodian, and I have mixed kids. Because all the statistics point to more people having interracial marriages. If you're a second generation person like myself, I'm more than likely to have a mixed marriage than I am to marry my own. Just the statistics point that way. So my child, let's say I have a mixed kid, they're probably going to wish that they knew some Punjabi or knew some Khmer, the Cambodian language. I have friends that are mixed, and they still yearn to connect with their cultures on both sides, whether it be African or Japanese. Because you want culture, you feel lonely, you feel depressed, you feel lost without culture. So you'll listen to hip hop, you'll find something to make your culture. It doesn't matter what it is. And so I think it's Punjabi's not going away. And that's a good thing. The bad thing is when I have kids, my primary focus is going to be to teach them English, because reading is number one. The kids that learn how to read at a younger age, read English, they end up graduating. They go on to college. So, but then at the same time, I'm gonna want to have them learn a little bit about their culture. So, and that'll be primarily through their grandparents. Because I only know so much. If they really want to go to the source, they'll have to go to their grandparents. And then as they get older, as I've seen with my friends, most of my friends, I have one Punjabi friend. All of my friends are mixed. I have a few Caucasian friends, white friends. Most of them are mixed, Asian and something else. I have a friend that's Punjabi and Mexican. I guess that's the other closest friend I have to being Punjabi. And by themselves, naturally, as they get older, they're going to be curious. They're going to try to consume Punjabi media. They're going to try to get closer to Punjab or whatever other if they're half Vietnamese, they'll go both ways. It's just how it works. Because America doesn't have a defined culture. And without culture, and I'm speaking from experience, you feel lost. So you want to gravitate towards something.
Yeah.
And the difficulty is for me growing up, I wasn't really accepted because I was in high school during 9/11, during the September 11th attacks. And, people who were, who had Ndari, they got discriminated against a lot. And to the point where I think there's a Sikh coalition that in New York that developed from all the discrimination that started. And and I got made fun of a lot. Me and my sisters got picked on. They brought kids brought baby powder to school and would pour it on us from above in the raft. There's a bridge in our high school. They would pour it on us, and they'd call us names. We got picked on a lot, bullied a lot because they said go back to Afghanistan. They called me Osama bin Laden, things like that. And so I wasn't fully accepted by the Western culture But then when I go home, I can't speak Punjabi, and all the Punjabi tight-knit groups, I don't really get along with them. They call me, oh, Gora hai.
Oh.
He's American, like he's too much Gora. But what they don't know is that the Gore don't accept me, and the Punjabis don't accept me.
They also.
So what am I? And so that creates where you then you're looking for culture, you're lost. So you'll want to be accepted by anyone. And for me, unfortunately, I got mixed up with the wrong kids, bad kids. Luckily, I made it out of that. I got better friends. But that's what happens. Kids get lost. So that's my long way of answering your question.
Yeah.
That having in that regard, but it's good to have culture. Gurmukhi is learning Gurmukhi, learning Punjabi, learning your culture will keep kids from feeling lost.
Yeah.
But I would advise people who are tight knit in their Punjabi communities to welcome others that are different. And encourage them. Don't shun them away. Oh, American, he's different, yad. We're not going to talk to him. No, bring them in, teach them, get them involved. So that's my long answer to your short question.
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਸੋਚਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸੋਚਣ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਫਰਕ ਆ। ਮਤਲਬ ਮੈਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਸੋਚਦਾ ਆ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਲੌਂਗ ਆਨਸਰ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਆ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਮੰਨ ਲਓ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣਾ ਲਾਈਫ ਜਿੰਨੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਆ, ਜਿੰਨੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੇ ਆ, ਸਾਡੀ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲੇ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਨੂੰ, ਸਾਡੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੋਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮੰਨ ਲਓ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਦੀ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਦੀ ਜਾਂ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੀ ਸੋਚ ਅਤੇ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਦੇ ਬੋਰਨ ਬੱਚੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਸੋਚ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਫਰਕ ਆ? ਜਿੱਥੇ ਟਕਰਾਅ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਵੀ ਟਕਰਾਅ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੋਮ ਡੈਡ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗਲਤ ਆ, ਮੋਮ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗਲਤ ਆ, ਇੱਦਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੋਕ, ਇੱਦਾਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸੋਚ ਦਾ ਟਕਰਾਅ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਵੀ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਟਕਰਾਅ ਹੁੰਦਾ? ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੋਮ ਯੂ ਆਰ ਰੋਂਗ, ਡੈਡ ਯੂ ਆਰ ਰੋਂਗ।
I think when you're younger and you're growing up, it happened a lot with me and my mom. Now me and my mom are like best friends. We get along a lot. But growing up, there was a lot, like if you want to go out at night, let's say you have a friend and she's female, oh, that's really bad. You can't have female friends, and the females can't really have guy friends. That's wrong, right? Or if you hang out with, let's say, African-American friends, and oh no, he's hanging out with Kale, that's not good. Like there's a lot of stereotypes. And I would say that the kids growing up in America are more we're open-minded. And we take more risk. Like let's say wanting to start a business or just have some wacky idea. We want to absorb everything that's around us. But you also have to think about it because my parents migrated in the 80s to America. And around that time, there was Operation Blue Star. There was a lot of discrimination happening in India. So they wanted to get away. Times were uncertain. You didn't know what was going to happen. And America is the best place to go because it's safe. There's religious freedom. You have those constitutional rights that create our free society. And so they're thinking from more of a point of, you come to this country, you don't know the language, you want to survive, so you put your head down, you work hard, you're thinking about your kids, you want them to be successful and thrive, you're thinking about safety. But the kids that are growing up in here, they're not really thinking about safety. They're not as conservative as the parents are. And a lot of the differences in the way we think, when I say, hey, mom, you're wrong about this, wrong about that, they stem from cultural beliefs that my parents grew up with. So, I mean, to give you an example, again, like the friends, staying out late at night, like just because you're out late at night doesn't mean you're out doing bad things. This in American culture, there's a lot of entertainment, movie theaters and fairs and parks and things you can do. So I think it's just those cultural differences, they just come from the fact that our parents grew up in a totally different world. I mean, India got its independence in 1947, and there was a lot of Muslims in India. There was a lot of different religions. They're super conservative religions. You cover your head. Even the women don't get involved with the guys. Even in the gurdwaras, you're sitting separately. In the mosque, I think it's the same way. The guys and the girls sit separately. You go to the church and everybody's mixed together. And so there's a big difference there. And I think it's just those little cultural differences, they come up in everyday conversation with parents. But now things are modernizing. Even in Punjab, when I was younger, Punjabi media, like now you have Diljit Dosanjh, you have guys like, Sidhu Moosewala. The music, even American hip hop culture, rap culture, it's been absorbed by the Punjabis and they've made it their own.
With Punjabi music.
Yeah, now it's cool.
Yeah.
But at one point it wasn't cool. You're acting like a kala, you're doing this, you're doing that. That was 15 years ago. But now it's like a normal thing, it's a cool thing. And so I know that doesn't answer your question fully about the differences in the way we think. That's something I'll have to think about. But one thing I will say is with the hip hop in Punjabi culture. Now I'm going to ask you, I know this is an interview about me, but I want to ask you, do you think the hip hop, like the Sidhu Moosewala and all these other rap guys, do you think that's good for Punjabi culture or do you think that's bad for Punjabi culture?
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪੰਗੇ 'ਚ ਪਾਤਾ ਪਰ ਗੁੱਡ ਆ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੂਜੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਤੱਕ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਆ। ਅੱਛਾ, ਮੈਂ ਗੁੱਡ ਸਮਝਦਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਖੁਦ ਮਿਊਜ਼ਿਕ ਕਰਦਾ ਆ ਅਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਡਾਇਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਸਾਰੇ ਵੀ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਕਲਚਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਰਗਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ। ਸੋ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਚੰਗਾ ਲੱਗਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲਾਸਟ 'ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ। ਸੋ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਬੜੇ ਹੋਰ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਮੇਰੇ ਪਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ
I think we should do this again and I'll come better prepared. I'll practice my Punjabi better and
in next meeting.
In our next meeting we'll do it better.
Thank you so much for coming. So ਅੱਜ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਲੱਗੀ ਆ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਚੈਨਲ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਜੁੜੇ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਅੰਗਰੇਜ਼ੀ ਸਮਝਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਘੱਟ ਹੀ ਹੋਣੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਰਗੇ ਪਰ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬੜੀਆਂ ਕਮਾਲ ਦੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਨਾ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਲੱਗੀਆਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫੀਡਬੈਕ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਔਰ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਰਹੋ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਰਹੋ ਸਾਡਾ ਰੇਡੀਓ ਸਾਡਾ TV USA ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਜੀ।